All right, good morning. Oh, good morning. That's better. All right, I'm excited to be here. We're going to talk about inspirational brands. We're going to talk about inspirational content. But first, we're going to talk about the funnel. We have a funnel problem, people. A funnel problem. Not like a beer bong funnel problem, but we have a funnel problem. We have this kind of a funnel problem. We all use this funnel, right? The marketing, the sales funnel. This is what the sales funnel looks like. Great, great. But did you know that this funnel was invented in 1898 by a guy with a great name, by the way, St. Elmo Lewis? 1898. This was his genius idea. Now, I know it doesn't look like a funnel, but he said the A was for attention, interest, desire, conviction. Those things equal a sale. Oh, it's genius. 1898, people. And I've talked to a lot of marketers. I read a lot of marketing books. And we're working to fix this funnel problem. We keep reinventing the funnel. We got the bow tie funnel. This is great. It's a multicolored bow tie with little specks and dots. And it's great, but I don't know how it's that different. How about this? We got the mirrored triangle with added gray arrows funnel. This is pretty nice. I like this thing. I have no idea what it means. We also have this one. This one's good. This is a funnel inside a more complicated funnel with two blue arrows pointing at things and then stuff on the side. We're working on it, though. I'm glad we're challenging ourselves. This one I like because I like a good pun. This is the funnel cloud. Somebody had a genius. I got an idea. I'm a meteorologist. This one's my favorite, though. This is the FU funnel. In the middle of this thing, there's tofu, mofu, and bofu. One of bofu content? Sign me up. I don't know what that is. We've got to rethink this. St. Elmo Lewis, when he was evolving his idea of what the funnel looked like, he decided it was a bunch of buckets that looked like Russian dolls that fit inside each other. But he still had the same four ideas that equal a sale. And I think he's on the right track. But guys, a lot has changed since 1898, and the framework we use is still essentially the same. It's pretty much the same. In 1898, there were no airplanes, people. We haven't changed what we're doing since there were no airplanes. We've got to rethink the way we look at the online world. There has been a monumental shift. We have to take a new world view on. And in the last 10 years, it's changed dramatically. The new worldview that I want you to try and embrace looks nothing like 10 years ago in the online world. When you started a website 10 years ago, you embraced the Ptolemaic model of the online universe. You guys remember Ptolemy? Yeah, okay. Ptolemy was the guy, genius guy, but he said, hey, everything revolves around us. We are the earth, and the sun, and the stars, and the moon, they all move around us. We are awesome. We are building a website that everyone will come to. That was genius. And that was the case 10 years ago. That's not the case anymore. We have to embrace a Galilean model of the online universe. And the Galilean model of the online universe doesn't look anything like our Earth heliocentric model anymore, right? It looks like this. And at the center of this giant Galilean universe is what? Search. Google. Google, the almighty, is at the middle of our online universe. And if you start thinking from your consumer's perspective, you start to look at their online universe. You start mapping what they do when they start at search and move outwards, right? It's not your website, it's Gmail. They're checking their mail. They're on YouTube watching videos. They're flickering with photos. They're watching news on CNBC. They're tweeting and twittering and stumbling and inning and linking and scribbing and pinning and iTuning way before they're interested in you. So where are you? Where are you? Where's your website and your web property in the Galilean universe? It's way the hell out here. www. Come on out through all the stuff you really love. Snippety, snippety, snippety. We're way out here. We've got to rethink the way we approach the online universe. We have to get closer and closer to the center of our audience's everyday online experiences. So I want you to start asking yourself today, what if we got closer and closer to the center of your consumer's universe? Are you a Galileo or are you a Ptolemy? In the next web meeting, where you're trying to get people to come back to your website, ask yourself this question. Do they actually need to be here? Can I put my content closer to their universe and still inspire them to take action? Now, search is changing a lot, guys. Search is definitely at the center of the online universe, but it's evolving. And Google today is the comfort food of search, right? It's the meatloaf, the mashed potatoes and peas of search. I love Google. I use Google all day long. But we've got to start looking at the way people actually search. And when I started putting this presentation together for you guys, I was looking for a beautiful picture of meatloaf, mashed potatoes, and peas, and I went to Flickr. And I found 2,200-something images of meatloaf, mashed potatoes, and peas. And I browsed through this thing for like 15 minutes looking for that picture, the picture I showed you. And by the time I was done, I was like, you know what? I want some meatloaf. I'm going to make meatloaf for dinner. So I went to All Recipes, I looked up the best meatloaf recipe, and look at this thing. 22,000 people gave it 4.5 stars. This must be the best meatloaf. I'm going to make this meatloaf. I start reading the ingredients and thinking about it. You know, I'm like, this looks like a lot of work. Instead, I'm actually just going to go buy myself some meatloaf at a restaurant. So I go to Yelp, and I look up best meatloaf in Boston, Massachusetts, which is where I'm from. And hey, yeah, here you go, Boston. Yeah, hometown crowd. Okay, almost. And I find two places. Pop's Restaurant, which I really like, but has crappy parking, right, Boston guys? It's really hard to park down there, so I decided I'm not going to Pop's. And I love the All-Star Sandwich Bar, but my wife doesn't like it because, yeah, the All-Star Sandwich Bar is great. Guys love it, but it's too noisy for my wife. So I was not going to All-Star Sandwich Bar, so I'm back to making my own meatloaf. And I decided instead of reading a recipe, I'm just going to go to YouTube and find someone who can show me how to make meatloaf. And I find Betty's Comfort Food Meatloaf Dinner. I start watching it. I've got extreme ADD. I'm like 2 minutes into a 10-minute video. I'm like, forget it. So I go to 5min.com where you can learn how to do anything in 5 minutes or less. I start watching this great 5-minute recipe video, and then all of a sudden she says, I need a meatloaf pan. I'm like, meatloaf pan? I didn't know I needed a special pan. So I go to Amazon. I order myself a meatloaf pan. And I've got Amazon Prime, so I'm waiting for this thing to arrive at my house. And in the meantime, I'm a history buff. So I go to Wikipedia. I'm like, where did meatloaf come from? Turns like, it's amazing. It's a German thing that came to German Americans in Pennsylvania, and all of a sudden we're all eating meatloaf. Fascinating. I look at this picture on the Wikipedia page. I'm like, that doesn't look that healthy. How many calories from fat are actually in meatloaf? So I go to Wolfram Alpha, 2 pounds of ground beef. There are 1,138 calories. I'm like, man, this is not a good idea. So I go to Facebook and I join the Meatloaf Sucks group. And I'm having a nice conversation with the Meatloaf Sucks team on Facebook. I'm posting notes, they're posting back, and all of a sudden one guy says he doesn't eat meatloaf anymore because he got sick because it wasn't cooked right. I'm like, oh crap, I don't have a meat thermometer. What temperature do I need to get it to so I don't get E. coli? I'm a bit of a hypochondriac. I go to WebMD, I check it out, it finds out I got to get it to 160 degrees. I'm like, this is a lot of work. I wonder if there's anyone out there right now who can advise me on what I should do about my meatloaf problem. So I go to Twitter and I see who's talking about meatloaf. There's these two guys. One guy says, my fiance makes a bangin' meatloaf. The hell is that? I'm not even sure. It might be a euphemism. I'm like, okay. Finished meatloaf, still not got a clue what I just ate. I'm like, oh, there's no way. I'm not making meatloaf. So I go to Amazon to cancel my meatloaf pan. I type in meatloaf, and I get Meatloaf the Artist. I love this guy. Bat Out of Hell was a great album. And I've always wondered what that guy's real name is. So I search him on AllMusic. And it turns out his real name is Marvin Lee Aday, and he's from Dallas. I grew up in Houston, so I'm real excited that he's a Texan. I recognize the picture from some TV show I just watched. So I go to IMDb and I search Meatloaf. Turns out he was on my favorite episode of Monk that I just saw on reruns. I'm like, this is great. I love Meatloaf. And then I remember something I saw back on Twitter. Look at that. That red arrow there? On the bill tomorrow night at the Bank of America Pavilion, Meatloaf. I'm going to get myself some Meatloaf. So I go to Ticketmaster, buy 2 tickets to Meatloaf. I go to the concert. It's an awesome show, by the way. Take a bunch of pictures. I come back home in the morning. I upload them to Flickr, and I realize, crap, I'm back right where I started. That, thank you. That is how people search. And my question to you is, funnel that.